other accessories is the land and building is the capex point.
The conference is now being recorded.
Of the capex is on land and building, but other things like spinning and processing like this, these are all otherwise, because the investment on machinery is also huge. We don't know how actually this park is coming. They are coming with separately, spinning is separate, or processing, or garment is separate. They are allocating, or it is a composite. So that's why these all we have to know clearly. So then only it will be good to take a decision. But anyhow, we are open for that, because definitely there will be a big support from, and also government said that it will be near to the port. So this kind of the transportation, all these things will be minimized. Once raw material we buy, so then we can go for direct export, and it will be more beneficial to government compared to other spinning or other things. So that's why we are also very interested, eagerly waiting for that.
Sir, in your experience, last time when government have proactively announced such a textile park, first, and secondly, because of this announcement, do you expect new players coming in garmenting industry? Existing will obviously go and expand, but also you expect new players will come. So, firstly, lastly, when government has announced a new player, two things, sir.
So that we have to wait and see, because if you take only garmenting, it's more of labor intensive. Organizing the labor is you need expertise in this area. So that is the most important. So that's why all these things we have to wait and see, because new players suddenly coming, and even spinning like this, even new player also can come and make it immediately, because now there's a lot of automation has come, where the labor requirement has reduced when you compare to 10 years, 15 years back. For example, 100,000 spindles, the labor is needed around say 2,000 to 2,500 people. Now for the same thing, around 500 people is enough. So that much technology has improved. But for the garment, it is not. It is even if you say 10, 15 years, what is maybe technology for cutting and all, automation has come. Some areas, storage and all these things. But there is, it will reduce only some, say, if they need 5,000 people, that has reduced only 200, 300 people. So still, the sizable, the workforce is there. So that all these things, and these are all more of manual operation. Though the latest machines are there, but tailoring is only manual operation. So we have to wait and see. But there is an opportunity, because this is an open market. Anybody can, even newcomer, existing people, or maybe. So all these things very difficult to say without any information. So that's why.
Yes. So lastly, last question from my side is on a yarn current yarn demand from a global market as well as from existing our domestic market, and where do you see our yarn spread settles, or a yarn price rather settles in next 2 to 3 months, sir? Thank you.
So now it's a good demand. If you see that last 3-4 months, generally, if the market general cycle is like 1 year. If you take 1 year, so there will be 2 to 3 months will be in demand. Then after that, it will become a normal like that. But now after the COVID and all, almost last 3-4 months, the yarn market is in demand, and it seems now also still in bullish only. So maybe next 2-3 months, it seems actually few companies, I know somebody is for those who are doing 100% export, they have already booked for 2-3 months. So definitely another 3 months will be the same demand, 2 to 3 months. So after that, it is very, again, this is what the thing, it is difficult, the market situation is not just only on based on demand, the global scenario, all these things we have to the government policies, international policies. So this year cotton price also, actually if you see international price is going up and up continuously every day. So Indian cotton is the cheapest as on today. So it's a very good opportunity for the Indian textile industry, the present situation. We believe that at least it will extend for some more time. But it's difficult to say that, next 1 year or like that. So maybe another 2-3 months definitely will be good.
Sir, have we started procuring not yarn, cotton at this prices, or we yet to season buying have started for KPR, sir?
Sir, we are already having, we keep a stock of minimum this many days, and we continue to procure. We will be always in the market, but sudden price hike, by the time we will stop buying for a week or 10 days. So then, when market comes down, then we will start buying. So it's we plan strategically because our past experience and our requirement based on that. And as we have a stock all the time to very comfortably, so we will not go for a panic buying. So we look at the market, what is in the past records and what is the global scenario, all these things based on that. So even if you say that it is actually the government has now in the budget 10% duty as imposed, but nobody expected. But even before, but there is no impact suddenly. Otherwise, there will be a spike in the price, but after that, no impact much in the market, right? Because in the international price already at the peak. So like that. So, but previously itself, in the past we said as being the domestic price is at the highest level. I mean, the lowest compared to the international market. We already, reasonable stock we are keeping it. So, so we are now waiting whether price will come down or go up. So like that. So there is no immediate spike in the price. So we are waiting for that. We have enough stock.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address the questions from all the participants in the conference, please limit your questions to 2 per participant. Should you have a follow-up question, would request you to rejoin the queue. The next question is from the line of Jason Soans from Monarch Network. Please go ahead.
Sir, thank you for taking my question. I just wanted to know few of your competitors also, they have mentioned, that some demand coming from, China has always been the main export market, and a lot of demand, or at least some part of significant demand might shift to India in terms of the aftermath of COVID. So just wanted to know your take on it. Like, are you seeing some real demand, some global suppliers or, taking some demand from China and, that demand coming to you or Indian players?
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Soans. So there is a disturbance coming from the background.
Yes.
I will request you to mute your line while the management answers your question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it is, sir, you are rightly said, after even as COVID is not over, but, after the relaxation of lockdown slowly, if you see the last 2-3 months, it is really fortunate to see this kind of market. Because in the beginning of the lockdown, everybody was panicked, the whole industry, how long the complete lockdown will be there, even after the relaxation, how the demand will be. But actually, it is no one in the industry has expected. We can see that once a while, in a 5 years time or something like, there will be a good demand. So the present situation is like that. And this a mixture of all these, we can say 2-3 reasons, that maybe the pipeline become empty because of that, maybe a demand is created, or maybe the orders maybe coming out of China and going to other countries, like 2-3 countries, like Bangladesh, Cambodia, Vietnam, like India, so like these things. And we can't say that, we can't measure it properly. So this much of a buyer has come, or this much quantity has come, like that. Being in the beginning of the time, so definitely we can, assume that based on this demand, I think some portion of the business is coming out from China. So this only we can say, but it will take some more time, or at least another 1 or 2 quarters to ensure that. So how much is coming out from China, or overall coming from China, and what is the because nobody, no buyers or brand will completely close and come to other countries. So maybe a portion of they may be both in India as well as in China, and maybe they increase certain business to India. So these things we have to wait and see. It takes some more time to ensure the correct position.
Okay, thanks for that, sir. And my next question is, if you see the 9-month performance, I see that the margins for the textile business has improved from around 16.4 to 20% for this year. Just wanted to know the reason for that.
Across all the value chains are performing well. The demand for yarn, fabric, native fabric garments, everything has gone up, and the margins are also good. That's why the margins are improving.
Sir, could you just repeat that? Sorry.
Across the value chain, the demand is good, and the contribution from all the segments like spinning, fabric, dyed fabric, garments, everywhere we are seeing the improvement in the margins.
Okay, thanks for that. And so just wanted to know your strategy in terms of FASO. Obviously, they are in athleisure and innerwear as well. Just wanted to know long-term strategy for it. What are you planning for it?
So now we know almost 1.5 years of launching, and because this is a retail segment, and we are as a child we started, and the FASO, and almost last 7-8 months, the retail was almost we can say close to 20-25% only. So apart from that, what we have planned, it is moving in that direction. And already we have launched for the southern 5 states of the southern India. And previously we planned for Pan India, but because of that we are little postponed that to going for the Pan India. So this is the present situation, and once we establish here, then we move to other parts of the country. So this is the plan, and see, we are estimating, say, spending already almost we have decided yearly, say 10 crores or so like that for spending on this fashion. And we have not going so aggressively because spending too much, we don't know how the market reacts and all these things. So brand we have to be very careful, and slowly we want to move. So we are allocating this much. So maybe after 2-3 years, then we will come to know what extent or how to push it. So like that. So this is the beginning our strategy, sir.
Okay, thanks for that. And my last question would be, so just wanted to know that, in terms of textile is in good space, the textile parks, China demand coming in post-COVID and other factors. So just wanted to know in that light, your profit performance for 9 months is around 11% growth. Would you want to guide for some profit growth for the next 1 year or 2 years? Just wanted to know if you would.
Actually, the present situation after COVID, that's what nobody expected. It will make a U-turn like that in demand. Even I know for at least for another 1 year, when it came in the last March 2020, it will be the industry has to shut down and struggling all these things. But within 6 months it's a turnaround, and the demand is huge now. It is not the normal demand; it is a abnormal demand, we can say. But how long this will continue? So it is difficult to say, but definitely we are very positive. Whatever the situation, definitely KPR is as usual. It's growing with all top line, bottom line, and all these things. So definitely we will be growing continuously, and this only I can say about. And I can't say that even what is the demand today, this will continue for another 1 year or 2 years. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot. That's all from my side. Thanks a lot for answering my questions.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sriram Ramdas from Green Portfolio. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. This is more to do with the microclimate. We're seeing US and EU apparel companies, they're facing issues because of container shortages, and they're canceling orders with Indian manufacturers. So I want to understand, are we seeing any customers in these regions, the EU and the US? Are we seeing them altering their seasonal orders because of this? Are they changing their orders because of this?
Sir, you're not audible.
Can you hear me now?
Can you come again?
Yeah, I'll repeat. No issue. So, sir, because of the container shortages that we're facing, we're seeing the US and EU companies, EU apparel companies, the government companies, they're canceling orders with Indian manufacturers. So are we seeing any of our customers, changing the orders they have placed with us because of this container shortages?
As of now, we are not seeing any cancellation of orders because of the container shortages. In India, it is relatively fine because there is a delay of about 10 to 15 days. So it will not have an impact because we are large manufacturers and we manufacture a little advanced and our shipment schedule also a little advanced. So we are not facing any problem. The problem generally is faced by the people who are into the fashion textile. Fashion textile facing some problems, but too not in India. Some other places they are facing. Container shortage, we expect that it will be corrected in a period of 2-3 months.
Okay, understood, sir. Thank you. And so second question, on the new sugar and ethanol capacity expansion. So our margins in the sugar and ethanol, it's about 18 to 19%, from what I understand. And in the publication, you stated that we are aiming for better margins once these new facilities are opened up and they start operations. So I want to understand what margins are we aiming for here? Maybe 20%, 23%. And sir, what is the progress we've made with this project, this new ethanol and sugar plant? Thank you.
We are looking at a consolidated margin of about 25% in the ethanol and the sugar plant. If everything goes well, it will be little more because it is all based on the cane availability. If the cane availability improves means it will go up to 30 also. We are conservatively estimating at around 25%.
Okay, thank you, sir. And last question, sorry. How much margins do we expect on these FASO brand of ours, the new ones? And sir, on the PLI schemes, can you just comment, do we have any plans to participate in it? Thank you. That's all from my side.
Yeah, FASO is a very preliminary stage of introduction. We are waiting for the things to improve because now we cannot look at the margins and all. Basically, we want to see the penetration into the market and establish the brand in the market. So margin levels, we are not thinking of. We want to establish in the market. That's what we are now doing.
Okay, sir. Thank you. All the very best. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Akshay Chheda from Canara Robeco. Please go ahead.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so thank you for the opportunity. So my questions are more to do with the new sugar facility that you have announced. So I just wanted to understand what is the rationale behind going for expansion in sugar, especially when we are seeing a lot of opportunity in the garment side. Second question would be, sir, what is your expected payback that you expect from this new facility? And the third would be your future outlook on the sugar. Like, would we continue to invest in it, or at some point in time we would like to demerge it or maybe sell it off? So yeah, these were a few of my questions. Thank you.
Yeah, sir, in the past and what in the last 2-3 years after the government policies on the sugar MSP and mainly of ethanol, so that is actually they motivated us to go for the expansion in sugar. And it is definitely, comparatively the previously, and the margin and all these things is much better. And one thing and another thing, like in the expansion in textiles, we are continuously expanding in garment. Previously we have expanded, now we are going for another garment unit, where when we go for other backward integration, whatever spinning, processing, and knitting, all these we have. So no need of further investment in spinning and all. So expansion is only the garment, where we can utilize all the existing, almost now around 40%, 35% of the yarn only we are consuming. So still around 60 to 65% of the raw material we are selling as a product, as a commodity in the market. So there is still huge capacity in the backward processing. So that is the reason we are continue to expand in garmenting, and where garment investment is compared to the spinning and all is less, but labor strength is much higher. So that's why we are expanding in garmenting. One thing, and another thing where we are looking for another opportunity of them because of this ethanol. One thing, and as you rightly pointed out, that one stage that also the management also thinking of like demerging textile and the sugar. So that is also an idea. So now it is with a small size. So when we go for another this new expansion, so it's a reasonable size. So then we can think of demerging. So that is the plan of the management.
So, sir, any target that we have, that if the sugar business goes to say X crores, so then we might demerge it? And sir, on the payback period, what is the payback that you expect from the new facility?
The new facility payback will be 4 to 5 years, and there is no target we have fixed like that. So that's why if the right situation comes, we can do that.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. I'll come back in the queue if I have any more questions.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashutosh Garud from Ocean Dial Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Yeah, hi. I just wanted to understand what is the capacity utilization in textile right now?
Spinning is 90%, processing 90%, and garmenting is about 70%.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Your voice is not clear.
Yarn and fabric is 90%.
Okay.
Processing also 90%.
Okay.
Garmenting 70%.
Okay. So any new capacities coming up in the near to medium term? Because we are already at 90% in most of the...
No?
Any new capacities coming up for us because we are already at 90% utilization level?
So basically, in garmenting, we can reach only 70%. That is the maximum capacity one can reach in the industry. Once we achieve 70% plus kind of level, we have to go for a new facility. That's why we are planning for a new facility now.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sunil Kothari from Unique Investments. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Very good number.
Sorry, Mr. Kothari, so your voice is breaking.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You may go ahead now.
Yeah. Sir, my request or my question is on this sugar. I wanted to understand this new capacity. If you can little bit detail what size of the sugar plant in terms of ethanol and sugar, and whether we'll be able to use this ethanol capacity in terms of, say, when sugar syrup is not available. Can we use those on, say, grain, anything which enhance our capability to produce whole the year? So little bit more detail on this sugar investment.
So basically, the sugar capacity is about 10,000 TCD. With 47.5 megawatt of power plant and 220 KLPD of ethanol plant. The plant is initially during the crushing, it will run through a juice. Sugar syrup we will use for converting into ethanol that gives the maximum benefit to the sugar mills. And in the off season, we would like to use the B-heavy molasses manufactured in the factory itself. It will be stored and used in the off season. It is designed like a fully captive kind of a business. In case of any necessity, we can buy molasses from outside and do it. But as it is, the land is designed like a captive plant.
Okay. So we'll be able to run it full year.
Yeah, it can run for 300 days. Generally, the ethanol plant run for 300 days, and 2 months we will take it for maintenance.
Okay. And sir, we'll be able to use this current year's crushing season. Maybe by October, November, we'll be able to.
Next season, sugar season, we will start the operations.
Sorry?
Next sugar season is coming November, December, we will start the operations.
Not in 22 November, December.
No, 21 November.
21 November, oh great. And sir, status of our new garment facility, 42 million capacity, which we are planning. So
we are in the final stages of land purchase. We may start the project shortly.
This will also will come in the year currently.
Yeah, it will also come into operation during 2021 itself.
Okay. And sir, my last question is, we had target of reaching garment production or crossing last year's volume numbers, which was I think 98 million, and I think first 9 months. So this current run rate, you feel another.
The garment, number of pieces may be little different. The number of pieces based on the design, size, and specification and all. But we will hope that we will reach to the last year's value-wise. We will reach the last year's numbers.
Okay. And in terms of volume, if you can share with the numbers. Current
small differences will be there, but we will reach around that level.
Okay. Great, sir. Wish you very healthy and safe journey ahead. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kaustubh Pawaskar from Sharekhan. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. Sir, couple of questions from my end. First, on the margin front. So this quarter we have seen margins, going up substantially, and we have seen textile margins going up, significantly. So going ahead, since yarn prices are going up, should we expect, some kind of pressure on the margins of the textile business?
Textile business in the coming 1 or 2 quarters, we expect that it will be good only because the demand is very good. So we hope that it will continue to be there for another 1 or 2 quarters. Hopefully you will get the same kind of the margin. But we have to wait and see. Current quarter looking good, and the next quarter also we feel it will be good.
Okay, so you mean to say there won't be any, because of the higher demand or incremental volume, you don't see that the input prices would have any impact on the margins, right?
Input we have, enough input we have, so we do not see the margin.
Okay, sir. So my second question is, as on December, what is your cash balance and debt on books?
So debt is 556 crores and the cash is about 350 crores.
So, sir, the debt increase on quarter basis is mainly because of the working capital required.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Right. Thank you. Thanks for that.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Naushad Chaudhary from Systematix. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity. 2-3 questions, sir. First, on the garment side, sir, as our new capacity is expected in next 4 or 5 months. So just want to understand, have we added or are we in talk with the new customers to book those capacity, or the existing customers are enough to absorb those capacity?
Existing customers will absorb the capacity. We are also looking at some new customers. Basically, it will go to the existing customers.
Okay. And what would be the order size as of this quarter, sir?
Somewhere around 600 crore of order size is there.
Okay.
In the garment side.
Okay. And anything?
They are not looking orders for yarn and other products.
Yeah. Anything on the Ethiopia plant side, sir? What is the kind of utilization? Are there any expansion plan do you have for that on that part of business?
As you know, Ethiopia is facing some internal unrest. So the things are more or less at the same level only. It is not improved. The civil unrest is not yet over there. Our people staying there, and the government assured that they will get it to normal by end of February. We hope that the situation will improve in the coming quarter. From last quarter onwards, the civil unrest is going on in Ethiopia.
On incentives part, sir, any comment on the incentives part? What exactly have we? What is the rate currently, and any view where could it settle in the March?
We are hoping that there won't be much of a difference in the incentive part. Presently, the government has to spell out the rate for this RODTEP. We are waiting for the rate, and we hope that it will be the same of ROCTL levels. And the drawback is also the same. It's about 2.25% kind of a thing. We don't think there will be some changes in the incentive part.
Okay, clear, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Resham Jain from DSP Investment Managers. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon, sir, and congratulations on very good set of numbers.
Thank you.
So, sir, I have 2 questions. One is on sugar, this new expansion which we are doing. So, typically, when a sugar factory is commissioned, a catchment is developed for the sugarcane acreage and all. So, if you can just help with your thoughts, and how is there already sugarcane farmers there, and if there is no factory over there, then where are they selling sugarcane earlier? So if you can just help with the overall supply chain arrangement near the new factory.
The factory is coming up nearer to the existing factory. It is about 50 kilometers away from the existing factory. In the 15 kilometers radius, there is no other factory there. Presently, Renuga and 2 other cooperative sugar mills are there. Mostly the canes are purchased by them, and the balance cane is going to Maharashtra, and some portion coming to other sugar mills made in the 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers away from there. But it is a good area where both Bhima River and 2 rivers are flowing in this region, and 2 check dams are there. The acreage is very good. As per the estimates, it can cultivation would be somewhere around 25 to 30 lakh tons. The present consumption for this region is about 10 lakh tons, so we will be getting somewhere around 20 lakh tons of excess production in this region. The river Krishna and the Bhima is more or less flowing through the year. So this area is very good for the sugar mill.
Okay, so what I was asking is that already there is a surplus in that area, is what you are saying.
Yeah, it's about 20 lakhs. Because there is a license in this, the particular place where we are putting up the mill, that person could not able to set up a mill, so he is surrendering it, we are taking the license.
Okay. Got it. So that was my first question. And my second question is on the overall garmenting piece. This existing new factory or a new factory which we are planning to set up, will the ramp up will be similar to what we have seen when you commissioned your Tiptur facility, or will there be any difference over there? Because
it is like that the existing facilities we have commissioned 3 years back would be the same, and the size would be little larger.
No, I was asking from the ramp up perspective. The ramp up was
Ramp up would be more or less the same.
It will take 2 years to fully ramp up that capacity. Is that right?
Yeah, it will take 1 year, full 1 year for ramping up, and the full result will take about 1.5 years.
Okay, got it. And so my last question is on cash generation, cash allocation going forward. Given the new sugar factory and the garmenting factory which will come up next year, the cash generation next year onwards will be like quite significant. And beyond FY22, you will have more than 800 to 1,000 crores kind of cash generation every year. Any broader thoughts over the next 3 years, 4 years period? How are you going to utilize this large sum of cash? Because your investment, as you mentioned, is more towards garmenting, and garmenting cannot absorb such a large cash generation. So, your thoughts, sir?
No, we are very much on this, and presently you see that now we are going for the 2 expansion, where the garment and the sugar with ethanol, and we are fully focusing on that. So it will take 8 to 10 months to complete all this. So then after that, with the management will sit and discuss for the next course of the thing. So still there's a time. So we are fully on the aware of that, and we have to plan. So presently our focus is only to once the project to aim to bring it to the full capacity operations. So maybe after at the end of the year or maybe beginning of 22, then we will seriously think about that, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir, and all the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shanti Patel from Shanti Patel Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you getting my voice?
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah. I just wanted to know, after we complete both the projects, namely expansion in the garment section and sugar and ethanol, what will be the return on capital employed and what will be the return on equity that we will be getting?
The return on capital for the sugar plant is expected to be somewhere around 20 to 25%, and the return on capital on debt plus equity is about 20%. And garments, usually it is about 30 plus kind of a return, both debt and equity.
Effectively, if you combine both, what will be the result?
If you combine both, it will be 25% plus kind of scenario.
On return on equity or return on capital employed?
The return on capital employed.
And return on equity?
Return on equity will be large, and we may be somewhere around 30% only as a equity. So it will be somewhere around 40-50%.
So you mean to say return on equity will be approximately 40, and return on capital employed approximately 25 after both the projects are fully implemented. Is it right?
Yeah, correct.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ankit Gaur from Systematics. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Firstly, few data points, sir. If you can share a yarn fabric volume and also garment sale volume.
So you want sale volumes of all this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yarn 14,700 tons.
1400, 700, okay.
14,700 tons.
Okay.
Fabric 4,200 tons. Garment 22.56 million.
Okay. And sir, if I heard it correctly, you said our garmenting capacity utilization is 70%, 70.
Yeah, correct.
So this was for Q3 or current, I'm not sure. This Q3, right?
Commonly 70%.
Sorry, sir?
So generally, garment capacity utilization will be calculated at 70% only, because achievable utilization only 70%.
Because sir, our capacity in FY20, if we see, is 115 million pieces, and we did about 98 million pieces in FY20. So effective utilization was 87.
That's what we are calculating.
Sorry, sir?
The 115 million is a 70% level.
Okay, so that's 115 million pieces is at 70%. Okay. Because if you do that, then capacity is 80. Okay, 85. Okay, I got it. Thank you very much, sir. And lastly, sir, what is our carrying cost, inventory carrying cost currently, cotton inventory carrying cost?
Maybe somewhere around 2%.
Sorry, sir?
2%.
Okay, 2% is the carrying cost. And sir, in Q3, did we have any inventory gain loss, cotton inventory gain loss in Q3?
It's more or less prices are stable in the second quarter and third quarter.
Okay, and sir, how difficult or easy for us to pass on inflation of cotton price inflation to our customer? Are they equally reciprocate in terms of taking that prices, or what is the process?
Generally, it is the time lag of about 1 month will be there to pass on the benefit of the cost to the buyer.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shrimant from Unifi. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Sir, if I see the yarn prices have rallied much higher related to the cotton prices, and the gross margin expansion in Q3 were very huge. So I want to, please you can quantify out of the 193 crore operating profit we did in Q3, how much will be because of this gross margin expansion because of high yarn cotton spread?
It is somewhere around 6-7%.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you. And sir, if I remember in Q2, you mentioned that the garment order book is near 540 crores. So what is the number for Q3?
It's about 600 crores. 600 crores.
Okay, sir. Fine, fine. And sir, one thing I understand is regarding the sugar capex. So in past we had a small amount of capital committed to sugar business, and now with the 500 crore capex going on. So can you please help us understand how it is different to operate in Karnataka related to Maharashtra or Uttar Pradesh? Basically, what I understand is what are the yields in cotton, and how the procurement cost of cane and sugar realizations will be differentiated from the Maharashtra or UP mill.
I could not get your question, sir. You're asking sugar business or cotton procurement?
No, sir, I'm asking about sugar business. So basically what I want to understand is that what will be our crushing days in sugar in new capacity?
Sugar crushing season is November to March.
Okay, so it will be near 150 days?
150 days, correct.
Okay, and what is the recovery rate in Karnataka?
In the region where we are situated is somewhere around 11.5%.
Okay, sir, fine. And our current capacity has an 11.5% recovery rate?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And sir, one more thing. A new cogen power plant is near 47.5 megawatt. So how much will be for external sales?
It's about 60% going to be external sales.
Okay, sir. Fine. Sir, one more question. So, in last call, you said that in 8 to 9 months, our garment capacity will come up. So, basically, if I see 9 months from October, it will be near June. So, will be new garment capacity be commissioned by June?
It seems it will take little time because the land acquisition takes little time here. Maybe 1 or 2 months time delay will be there.
Okay. So, basically, in Q3, we should commission, at least.
Yeah.
Okay. And sir, this new sugar capex, when will it be commissioned?
It's expected to be in the next sugar season, that is November 2021.
Okay, sir. Thank you. And sir, what is our ethanol revenue in Q3?
1 minute. Q3 is about 46 crores.
Okay, sir, fine. And sir, I want to understand one thing. So we have this new current sugar capacity is near 10,000 TCD. So what capacity utilization it is operating in Q3?
It is operating at 90% capacity.
Okay, sir, and the same will continue for the complete Q4, right?
Yeah, Q4.
Okay, sir, fine. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ritesh Bhatia from Asian Market Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. So, sir, most of the question is answered. Just one industry-related phenomena I want to understand. So like in 2005, when multi-fiber agreement was lifted, that time also significant opportunities open up for the Indian textile manufacturers, and but that time we are not able to capture those opportunities in the event since government is not taken required reforms which was required as such. Now again in the form of China Plus One strategy is coming up, and global markets are throwing a lot of opportunity for the Indian textile player. So this time, sir, how do you see government initiatives, and are the industry happy with the government initiatives and expecting some more reforms which can help to tap this kind of opportunity which is coming up in the present scenario? Yeah, that's all.
Yes, sir. See, in 2005, almost you can say that 15 years before, the scenario is different, and even generally, if you see, textile itself is in India all fragmented and in a small size. Overall, if you take the total size, only few companies are larger in size. Otherwise, also small capacities, and slowly they are all growing up. And government also understanding over a period of in the last 15 years, there is here and there some textile park has come. But actually this time government even in the budget they have announced they are coming with a larger size of parks, 7 textile parks they have announced, and that's what we are all waiting for that. And they said each park will be thousands of acres. We don't know how much exactly what is the size. But it's thousands of acres, and there more than 1,000 acres will be reasonably they can create a good capacity. So government has given there also they are providing all the facilities. So it will be a common facility. Once common facility created, so even medium-sized players also, they can come and start with a larger capacity, and even larger size of capacity people also can do immediately, because once the government creates all these common facilities, so it's almost like a plug and play. Just we can buy the machine and install within a short time, 2-3 months. We can start the commercial production. So that is only the government has announced. And what we feel, the government also now, they also understand what is the China Plus One situation, and other competitors, like other countries. So with this, and in 2005, there is no such kind of the things has come. Only just like with the fiber policy, they removed quota system and all. Because everyone, maybe by the time government as well as the industry also maybe thought, because the quota system, we cannot export more quantities, though we have capacity. But once the quota is removed, everyone thought there will be a huge order will come. But actually, it has not happened. The reason is that with the because of maybe like availability of raw material and the manufacturing facilities to that standard, maybe because of that. But after 10, 15 years now, with the more awareness, even for the industry as well as even the government, so that is the reason now. I think they have exactly announced this policy, and we hope that and industry also prepared for that. So looking for like a better opportunity. So we believe, I think the situation now will be a little different compared to 2005, and we hope that things will roll little better way.
Okay. Sir, on the labor laws, do you think that government has taken all the required reforms, or some more is required from the industry perspective side?
No, that is, we have to wait and see, sir, because then and there government is, announcing, it is not as a labor reform, like one statement they have not given like that. Even in the textile policy, the park, also they just announced the what is the, clarity or clear details about that is still not has come. And similarly for labor reform also, they then and there they are announcing like PF, these, that, all these kind of things. But if they come out with complete set of the regulations, then only we will come to know what the kind of the impact or the support. So that we have to wait and see.
Okay, got it, sir. Helpful. Thank you, sir. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Akshay Chheda from Canara Robeco. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello sir. Thank you for the follow-up. Sir, actually, I wanted to ask you about the EBITDA margin. So in this quarter, you have clocked around 27%. So that is like best if I would have to see for in the past quite some time. So I just wanted to know like what would be the EBITDA margins that you would be looking for in the near term and the long term. Like what would be the number that you would be okay with? Yeah, thank you, sir.
Sir, actually, we work with a EBITDA margin of about 20% for yarn and 22 to 25% of for garments, and with the increased sugar capacity and all, we are looking at 25% kind of margin in sugar. But sometimes the margins are very quite good because of the good demand from the market. But as of now, across all the value chains in the textile are doing really well, and the sugar, we have commissioned the ethanol plant last year. Now it is running at full capacity, so the margins are better.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Samala from Tata Asset Management Company. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. So, sir, if you could just help us understand in the current quarter, the quarter gone by, that is Q3, how many days was the sugar or ethanol plant operated for? Because I believe that it was under maintenance for some time and you started mid-quarter, right?
Yeah, it is. Season started in first week of November. It's about 60 days of running.
Right. And ethanol plant was also operated for 60 days, is it?
Yeah, it's an integrated plant only.
Right. Sure, sir. And for the new sugar cum ethanol capacity that is going to come up, what is the total revenue expectation and the split between sugar and ethanol, sir, that you are expecting?
It is revenue expected somewhere around 600 crores. The sugar and ethanol split will be 50-50%.
Okay. And overall margins would be for the new plant?
Minimum we are looking at 25%.
Okay. Sure. And you just were replying to previous participants' question that yarn you're expecting 20, garment 20 to 25, sugar did you say 25 or 35, sir?
25%.
25%. Okay, sir. And in the current quarter, what would be your expectations from sugar and ethanol plant with respect to the revenue?
Revenue we are looking at somewhere around 150 crores. The margin is expected to be around this level of about 30%.
Sorry, margins would be?
Around 30%.
Around 30%. And my last question, sir, on the ethanol, now that we've operated for quite some time, specifically on ethanol, what kind of margins are you getting?
We are not separately seeing the margin of ethanol. We are seeing as a business.
Okay. Sure. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bharat from ICICI Direct. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Congrats on a good set of numbers.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Just had a query regarding this revenue breakup of yarn, fabric, and garment in Q3 of this year as well as Q3 of last year.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. There is a disturbance coming from the background. I would request you to mute your line while the management answers your question.
You want the sales figure of yarn, fabric, and garment? Volume numbers or value numbers?
Sir, revenue contribution.
Revenue contribution. Yarn is 315 crores. Fabric 96 crores.
Sir,
garment 359 crores.
Fabric amount?
Fabric 96 crores.
Okay.
Garment 359 crores. Last year?
Yeah.
Yarn 321 crores. Fabric 33 crores. Garment 302 crores.
Okay. And sir, for the order book that you are talking of, the garment order book, which is around 600 crore currently. So this is for how many months?
It is for it's for 6 months.
6 months. Okay. And so this increase in yarn prices, how easy or difficult it is to pass on because it's been increasing. So how do you see that?
So generally the price yarn prices fixed once in a month. So there will be a time gap of about 1 month to pass on either the benefit or the cost.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thanks for answering the questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shraddha Agarwal from Asian Market Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Good afternoon. Congratulations on a very strong quarter. Most of my questions have been asked. Just a couple of questions. But could you give the margins between the various segments in textile, yarn, fabric, and garment? Yarn and garment.
Yeah, yarn is 24%.
Mm-hmm.
Garment is 33%.
Right.
Sugar 30%.
Sorry?
Sugar 30%.
Okay. And so what is the captive consumption of fabric currently? What percentage are we using captively?
It's about 40% now.
On the increased capacity, right?
Yeah.
And so could we sell viscose yarn, because we had also started some small capacity on the viscose yarn side. So
This market is very good. Moment is very positive.
Sorry to interrupt, Ms. Shraddha. There's a disturbance coming from your line.
Yeah, I'm done. Just one question, sir. On the new sugar plant, you said that the potential revenue expected is 600 crores. So it is broadly similar to what we are getting from the existing sugar and ethanol capacity, right? Of the existing capacity of 10,000 and the 130 KLPD?
Sir, slightly higher because the ethanol capacity is little higher there in the new capacity. Maybe power capacity also slightly higher. Because of that, there will be some 50-60 crore revenue will be higher.
Okay. So we are doing close to 550 crores on the existing capacity on a margin of 20%, and the new plant will be at 25%.
Yeah, yeah. It's a fully integrated plant.
Sure. Thank you. So just one question. How much sugar did we sell in the quarter?
Yeah, 1 minute. Sugar we sold with somewhere yeah, with 15,000 tons we sold for a value of about 48 crores.
And the inventory in sugar, how much will be sitting on?
The closing stock is about 45,000 tons.
45,000. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Siddharth Rajpurohit from JHP Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity and congratulations on a very strong set of numbers. Sir, according to your estimates, how long can this spread between cotton and yarn sustain, sir?
We hope that it will continue for this quarter and one more quarter. It is a very difficult to estimate. We feel this will be sustained for this quarter and the coming quarter.
Okay. And sir, are you facing resistance in terms of passing over the cost, given the spread is very high now, historically?
There is no, it's all market driven. It is a commodity. The commodity is open to the market, so there won't be much of a difficulty.
Okay. And sir, given there is a lot of talk of this China plus one, but is this really on ground? How do you see this panning out now, sir? Are they getting significantly high orders from clients which were earlier sourcing from China, or they have moved to other countries?
A small inflow of order increase we are seeing. We hope that it will continue because it's a very early stage, and the order book also growing for us also and across all the garment players also. We feel it will happen over a period of time because immediately it cannot happen. It will take some time. We are seeing some movement in the market.
Okay. And so is yarn sourcing significantly gone up from India as compared to as our players from Vietnam or other countries moved out of sourcing from China to Europe, India?
Sourcing from India has gone up substantially, but we do not have a exact number of how much increased and all.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much and all the best, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of HR Gala from Finvest Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Nataraj and the team, congratulations for a great set of numbers.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. So my question is, this time, the major increase in the margin has come from the gross margin improvement and not much from the other operating cost or payroll cost. So what was the main reason? Like, you said that it was mainly because ethanol plant operated at a full capacity. So, 7% improvement in the gross margin, can we sustain this kind of gross margin going ahead? It will be partly sugar, partly textile, because we do not have that breakup.
As we discussed earlier also, this quarter across the value chain is doing really well. And the margins in all the segments have improved in textile and as well as in the sugar. And we hope that the trend will continue for next quarter also. But it is a very difficult step because it is a business where it all depends upon the market. We hope the things will be more favorable for the industry.
Correct. Because what I observe, sir, that as far as PBIT percentage is concerned, sugar has come down YOY from 20.7 to 18.8, whereas textile has improved from 13 to 24%. So the major increase in the margin seems to have come from textile and not sugar. So that is why I just wanted to know its relationship with the gross margin level.
Yeah. No, sir, the textile, as I told you, all the segments are doing really well. So the margins are higher. Sugar also doing well, and because we are at a margin, a gross margin of about 30%. We hope that all the business will do well in the coming quarters also.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Samala from Tata Asset Management Company. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity again. Sir, just wanted to understand, given the large quantum of investment in the sugar business, how are you thinking about the business moving forward? I mean, would the management be thinking of this vertical as one of the core operating verticals moving forward, and something that you would want to expand here on as well?
Sir, actually, I think even previously for some question also we have answered for that. And now, like even maybe after some time we can plan for demerger of the sugar from the textiles. So there is also an idea. So for that we should get a reasonable size. So that is one thing. And see, overall, after the ethanol, the government has brought a policy of mixing more into the petrol. And here it is, government has increased the ethanol price also, so it will be more attractive. So there is a reason now, in this quarter, if you see this as mainly, ethanol is contributing a better margin for this. So in the future, this is the idea, sir.
Okay. So in the future also, you are not averse to investing in this if the right opportunity comes in, right? I mean, this is something, this is a scalable opportunity.
Situation will, allow to take any decision.
Okay, sir. And one last question. So I think you mentioned to one of the previous participants' question that most of the new garment capacity, for the new garment capacity, you are receiving orders from the existing customers itself, right? So if we just look at the overall garment capacity of about 42 million, what kind of bookings would you be having at this point in time?
Once we are ready only. We are not booking the orders in advance, and also we book only the season wise, not the full year kind of order.
Right.
Only for 6 months season we book, and once the factory gets commissioned only we start booking that.
Right. Yes, sir. So maybe booking is not the right word, but negotiation or some sort of an agreement or soft agreement.
Requirement has come, that's why we are going for expansion. A lot of the requirements from the existing players have come. We have some capacity for the new buyers also. We are also discussing with the new buyers, so we started sampling and all.
Right.
Maybe before commissioning the new plant, we will finalize the clients also.
Right. So seeing the good demand, robust demand that we are witnessing now post-COVID and some of the factors that you already mentioned, do we expect an accelerated ramp up this time of the new plant versus, when we commissioned before?
We'll try to do it, sir. Always we try to do it based on the various things, and we will try.
Right. Sure. So 1 to 1.5 years is what we should expect at this point in time, right? For you to reach.
It will take minimum.
Right.
Since it's a larger capacity, we are more conservative on that, but we will try our best.
Right. Sure, sir. Okay, sir. Thanks a lot for taking my question. All the best.
Thank you. We'll take a next question from the line of Shanti Patel from Shanti Patel Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Sir, I just wanted to know whether we are financing this expansion through internal accruals only, or debt, or partly debt and partly internal accruals.
So partly debt, partly internal accrual.
So what will be the approximate interest burden because of the borrowing?
Okay, interest expected to be, on the borrowing expected to be somewhere around 600 crores, and the interest cost expected to be somewhere around 40 crores.
Sorry, 40
crores initially.
40
and more on once the repayment starts.
Correct. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a next question from the line of Nirmal Shah from Seraphic Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. I don't know whether this question was asked before. With respect to export incentives, sir, how big is as a percentage of revenue for us? And are you concerned about the reduced allocation for the new scheme RODTAP in the budget which just got announced on the 1st Feb? And also you can share what's your view about the export incentives moving ahead?
Export incentive, we are not seeing any difference, any change in the incentive system. Maybe it will be coming up with either cash system or a licensing system kind of a thing will be there. We hope that the existing incentive structure will continue.
Okay, so how big is it for us right now as a percentage of revenue?
7% of the government revenue and 2% of the yarn exports.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Ahmad from Unifi Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, I want to understand what should be the ideal ethanol route for a new 230 KLPD distillery. How much will be direct and how much will be B molasses?
Okay, 50% is going to be from the syrup and 50% is going to be B heavy molasses.
Okay, sir, fine. And what is for your current capacity, our current 130 KLPD capacity?
The current capacity is 130 KLPD. And this one also we will do the same way.
So we'll do 50% direct, right?
Yeah, 50% direct.
Okay. And sir, from your current 10,000 TCD, what can be the peak revenues we can gain?
Revenue around 550 crores.
Okay, around 550 crores. Okay, fine. Okay, sir, I want to understand one more thing. As you told that we take price escalation for the garment business every month. So for example, for this Q3 and Q4, have we already taken the price escalation?
No, could not repeat. Please, coming in.
Okay. So for a garment business, as you told that we take every 1 month price hike with our customer, as the yarn prices are already.
No. Garments is a 6 months order. We are not taking any price hike. Only the yarn every month we are fetching the price.
Okay. Fine. Thank you, sir. And sir, one more thing. So for our ethanol 230 KLPD, will be the captive molasses will be sufficient, or we'll buy molasses from outside?
We are planning only for captive plant, but there is no problem in buying molasses from outside and using. When there is a shortage, we can buy it from outside and use it.
Okay, sir. And sir, for our current garment business, we source 100% yarn and fabric from our captive, right? And we don't buy from outside.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, what is the status of Ethiopia plant? What is the volume we did in Q3? How is the things going there?
Ethiopia, as we discussed earlier in the call also, Ethiopia facing some civil unrest within the country. And from the last, say September onwards, nothing is happening there. We are waiting for the things to improve. Let us see how it progresses. Our people are staying there and seeing the situation. Government has given the assurance of getting the things cleared before the end of February. They are waiting the things to improve.
Okay, sir. Fine. Thank you. That is from my side.
Thank you. I now hand the floor back to the management for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. So with ongoing COVID vaccination program, the economy is expected to recover fast and the normalcy may soon be restored. And thanks to the overall scenario, the market is good now, and KPR is planning for the expansion on the right time, and with our the unique strength is our employees, being like around 25,000 employees. Strength is like a strong team, and on the top level management also the all the second generation people are joined in the business. So this is also adding to the existing strength of the top management, and with our technical team with expertise on the project execution, with adding all this, we are very confident, and we are able to achieve the performances ahead of others at any situations. So we have proved that even during the COVID lockdown time, KPR has come up very strongly. That's because of mainly we can say that the strength of the people of KPR. So with this, that we can assure that at any situation we will come out strongly, even at the critical time also. And this is after this relaxation, the market is also favor, and we hope that this will continue for the future. And with all this, we are ensured that KPR will perform better and better. So once again, thank you all for your continuous support. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Batlivala and Karani Securities, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.